Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Jedi Knights Watch for another 6th scale unboxing and review. And this one comes from ThreeZero, and it's Game of Thrones Arya Stark from Season 8. If you're enjoying the content that you've been watching on my channel, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell so you don't miss any new content coming your way. Also, we do a live stream Monday nights at 8:30 Central called 6th Scale Symposium. Would love for you to be a part of that conversation, so come and join. So most of you don't know, but I actually was, or maybe still am, a big Game of Thrones fan. Season 8 definitely was a letdown in my opinion. Thought it was really rushed. Thought things just didn't make sense. It was just too fast. Things we could get into that in a whole nother video here, but it really did put a damper on the rest of the series. I do still like Game of Thrones a lot. I used to collect Funko Pops, got rid of most of those, and I do have some ThreeZero figures. And I was at my local collectibles store and I saw this, and I wasn't gonna get her, had no intentions of doing it, but I just said, heck, let's just go on a whim here, check it out, do something different, and review it and see if she's worth it. So here she is. Taking a look at the box, it's going to be pretty plain. It looks a lot like the other ThreeZero Game of Thrones boxes, except this one's going to be on the smaller end, much like the Tyrion Lannister box. It does say Game of Thrones on top and has like a nice foil looking silver to it right there, and it just kind of bounces off the light. Under that it just says Arya Stark Season 8 1/6 scale collectible figure, and then below that we have the direwolf sigil that's kind of like embossed into the box itself, and under that it even says Winter is Coming House Stark. And on the bottom we do have the ThreeZero logo, which is really cool. I do like their logo a lot. Outside of that, there's really not much else to look at. The back is the exact same as the front. When we get this guy laying onto the table, it is a slipcover top, so that does reveal a display window that we can see the figure in all of the packaging. Once we get that out, we get our first look at the figure and all the accessories. She has two trays. The first one's going to have the figure and the arms, and the second one is going to have her weapons. Now this figure isn't going to come with a stand, so we aren't going to go into that. But before we get a closer look at the figure herself, let's take a look at everything she comes with. And here we have everything that our Arya figure comes with. We have a bunch of weapons, a few hands, and like this animal skin garment here. And ThreeZero always does a great job with their clothing on all of their figures, at least that I've seen so far. It's one of the best things that they do, and for what they're known for. So let's just take a look at this first. There is going to be a wire running through it, so it is going to be posable. And look at just how real that looks. That looks really, really nice. So this can go over Arya, and I guess it's kind of like a coat, but I like this fabric here a lot. Even some kind of snow or dirt, just different coloration towards the bottom. Look at the detail towards the stitching. Just looks like raw and used and kind of homemade. So really nice outfit right there. And then we do have her, I guess, baton slash dagger here. Looks like this is made of dragon's glass. That looks pretty nice there. It's got a nice shine to it. Really nice paint application. And then I believe these two are going to be the exact same. Just, I believe in Season 8 they got broken and she just used them as two, like, daggers. So here's those. But really nice, almost like a pitting, and just different dry brushes over that just to kind of have it stand out. Next we have the Valerian steel dagger that actually, spoiler alert, killed the Night King. If you haven't seen it by now, you're probably not going to. So, but it looks really good. I mean, it's not perfect, but even the small details in the paint right here, you got the, I don't know if they're like gems or emeralds, but really, really nice looking blade here. And then she does come with needle in its sheath. So you can kind of take that out, and there it is. And she does come with a couple extra sets of hands, some closed-fisted ones and then some gripping hands. Here is the closed-fisted hand, and It's just a gloved hand, but it's got some decent detail. I mean, not much to say about it really. So without further ado, let's get the figure out. And here we have our Arya Stark from Season 8. I gotta say, overall, I am impressed. I mean, again, this is going to be ThreeZero quality. This isn't going to be Hot Toys quality, but taking a look at the head sculpt, it looks better than images on the internet showed. So even on camera here, I don't think it looks that great, but I think the profile looks good. But in hand, it does look much better. The interesting thing that they did was they did sculpted hair on top and then rooted hair coming down. I do believe they did that so that you could have more articulation in the head and maybe just to look a little bit more natural towards the bottom. I think it looks pretty good. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. I'd rather it kind of be all rooted or all sculpted, but I think it looks okay. The paint application looks pretty decent. Again, these ThreeZero figures tend to look a little bit more yellow, or you know, the paint application just isn't going to be as good as Hot Toys, but for the price point, I think this is a really good looking figure. Coming down to the outfit, it's going to be, it's almost like, it's not a pleather, but it does look like a material that could peel over time. It's really well done. All the stitching is real here. You have all of these kind of loopholes here that stitching is going through. It looks really, really good. I just do worry that over time it could peel. But again, they got like snow on the bottom here just to make it look, you know, more realistic, like she's actually trudging through the elements. And really nice belt buckle here. It's like a rubbery material. She does have her sheath here for the dagger. But really, really nice. There are no wires here, so that is something that I do wish they would have incorporated, because they do kind of lay a little bit too flat for me. But it's not a bad thing, just wish that there were some wires here. Underneath, she just does have like a nylon type of pant under. These boots are really, really cool. It's one of my favorite pieces of the figure. I thought this was like a real pleather material at first glance. I was like, oh man, why did they do that? But then I'm like, oh wait, that's sculpted plastic. It looks really good. There's even like fake stitching going on right here. And it is a split cut boot design, something that ThreeZero does a lot, so that you do have good movement in the feet themselves. But again, too, with the snow kind of all over the boot, just gives it a little bit more of a realistic feel. Nice belt buckle here. Something that ThreeZero always does as well is they put the HBO and their ThreeZero logo, and then you even got snow on the bottom. So that's a really, really nice touch. Now let's take a look at articulation. Typically these figures are usually pretty easy to articulate, probably because the bodies aren't up to the Hot Toys standards, so they are going to be a little bit looser. But just taking a look at her head, she can look up a little bit, look down pretty good, and then obvious. Ooh, what happened here? Oh, well that's cool. And her bun just broke. Looks like it can just get glued back in, but that kind of sucks. So we'll have to glue that and then come back. All right, awesome first impression. The arms go out to there pretty easily, and they go out pretty good there. I do believe this is going to be a single bend. I can get it to about here, and then it kind of kicks back forward. So not very good articulation right there. The legs go out pretty far. Double bend in the knee. And then obviously we do have that split cut boot design. There's a swivel here and a swivel in the arm. And there is some crunch ability, but not a whole lot because of the belt and this garment. Alright, so now let's get the figure into some poses and talk about some of the things that I like and some things not so much. Starting with the things that I really like, the first would be the outfit and all of the detail that ThreeZero put into the figure. We have kind of a little bit of discoloration in certain areas just to make it more worn. We have snow in different areas, just the detail in making her look like she is in the north, trudging around in the elements. The outfit looks great. The next thing that I like about the figure is actually the head sculpt. I think pictures don't do this figure justice. I don't think the video does the figure justice. I think the sculpt looks pretty good to Arya herself. Is it perfect? No, but I'd give it a decent 8 out of 10. I also kind of do like the fact that they did rooted hair on the bottom and on the top was sculpted. You don't have to worry about the hair poofing out everywhere. It works and it does look good. And the last thing that I really like about the figure is the boots themselves. I thought when I first looked at this figure that the boots were actually going to be a pleather material. That's how realistic they looked. But when I felt them, they're hard plastic. They're just sculpted. They look really, really good, and they do have that split cut boot design. Now for some things that I didn't like as much. The first would be that the bun fell right off the head. The glue didn't hold, so just be careful if you're doing that. Luckily, it is pretty easy to glue back on. The second thing would be that when I took the head off to put the that animal skin on, it was really hard to get the head to pop back in. I thought I was going to break the figure because you really have to grip it and push, and I didn't want to like ruin the figure itself or the clothing by gripping it so tight. So that's something that I didn't really like, was how hard that head is to get back on. The last thing is not that big of a deal, and I already knew what I was getting into, but the body itself isn't going to be of Hot Toys quality, and there's a reason for that. You're not paying Hot Toys prices. You're getting this figure at a lot lower of a price compared to Hot Toys, so take it with a grain of salt. And having said all that, I do really like this figure, and I am pleasantly surprised. I'm really happy that I picked her up and added her to the Game of Thrones 6-scale collection. I think the price point is good. I think the outfit looks amazing, and I do think the head sculpt is pretty good. So she comes with a good amount of accessories as well. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan, I would definitely recommend picking her up while you can still find her. I do believe she is still available at Sideshow as well. But yeah, really, really underrated, and I'm really surprised how much I like the figure. So it's always good when we have those pleasant surprises, right? Alright guys, well that was the video. I hope you like it. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, I really do apologize, and just double hit that dislike button so I really know you didn't like it. Subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss any new content. And until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.